Hello everybody. So another quick video today to talk about this shakeout, this growth, hyper-growth, small cap, hyper-growth market shakeout. The market was all over the place, but companies that I deem very much undervalued got even more undervalued today. And of course, if you just follow the indices, you would not notice because the indices did somewhat fine. Sure, we dropped a little bit during the day, but the indices did somewhat fine. Lifted by big funds, big money flows, moving back into Amazon, Tesla, Google, Nvidia. We had a AI is real day today. Yesterday we had a AI is not real day. The market is just going back and forth. And midday, the market tried to convince itself that the CPI report was bad, even though the CPI report was good anyways. The point is Mr. Market is so short term. Mr. Market just looks a few months out, sometimes a few weeks out, sometimes a few hours out, as it was this morning before the CPI release, sometimes a few days out. My best example of this, that was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. You had CNBC who had an article recommending that people buy Tootsie Roll Industries because Halloween was coming up in 2 days, and the sales were going to be good for Tootsie Roll for Halloween, so you should buy the stock before Halloween. That's the nonsense that we have to deal with, and whenever you try to do any sort of long-term prediction, the market just stops making any sense. And of course, that's what happened today to OSCR and to HIMS. HIMS was down today a little bit, more during the day than towards the end of the day. We recovered a little bit. We were down. And OSCR has had a precipitous decline in 5 days. And why is OSCR down so much? Because it seems like they're going to vote on the ACA extension, possibly subsidies, ACA subsidies expansion. It seems like they're going to vote for them in January. So in 2 weeks, the market does not look far ahead like that. The market doesn't care about what's going to happen in a few weeks. The market cares about what's happening in the next few days. It's not going to be voted before Christmas. Therefore, it dumps OSCR. It forgets about the trade. Never mind that OSCR trades at a 0.02 on my metric, enterprise value over gross profit over revenue growth. OSCR is 5 times cheaper than HIMS. It's understandable. It's an insurance company. As you know on this channel, I've been critical of insurance companies. I don't like all of the regulation. I don't like how they can be hurt by, a change in the whims of politics. I own OSCR. OSCR is a short-term, medium-term, a few years. It's a few years hold for me. It's not like HIMS. HIMS is a decade-long hold for me. OSCR is a few years. It's a few years old. Let's get that stock up to $40, $50, and then I'll get rid of it. That's my take on OSCR. But anyways, the market is entirely ignoring the fact, and the market is ignoring perhaps social media, or perhaps not connected to some of the social media. On the ACA, the Affordable Care Act marketplace, premiums are through the roof everywhere in the country if you're lucky to have a provider in your area. So in some cases, you don't even have a provider. But they are through the roof. And OSCR, and I've watched a few of the latest presentation of OSCR. If you go on the Quarter app, there was one a few weeks ago, very interesting. They're going to raise those premiums by quite a bit. In some cases, the premiums are going up 30%. So, and they expect to lose customers, but I was listening to the executive talk about, they're going to lose customers, but the customers that they're going to lose are going to tend to be higher morbidity customers, i.e. they're going to be customers that are more sick. So they're going to lose less profitable customers. And the CEO was making a point that the people who are going to take the 30% increase in premium, they tend to be healthier. And so they were like, we might make too much money next year, and we might have to give money back to the customers in the form of a rebate at the end of the year, because there's a law they need to achieve a certain medical loss ratio. If they do better, they have to give back the money to the customer. That's how good of a position that management team is. But the market only cares about the ACA subsidies getting expanded, and it doesn't look a few months ahead. So I can't even imagine how much better OSCR is going to do if the ACA subsidies are expanded. Here's another thing. Why do I bring HIMS while discussing OSCR? What do we think is going to happen to people who can't afford to go with, traditional ACA healthcare? right? They're going to go without insurance. And if they go without insurance, there is one provider that I keep pounding the table on this channel that does great without insurance, and it's HIMS and HERS. HIMS and HERS gets you everything you need without insurance, much more conveniently, and very often cheaper than copays. If someone was getting, a metformin-based pill, for weight loss or whatever through OSCR, and they lose OSCR, what's the best place to get it? Well, HIMS is probably a very good place to get it. If you had an ED pill via OSCR, well, typically insurance doesn't cover this, so you would have probably had it with HIMS. But that makes sense. What I'm saying is labs. Let's talk about labs, right? A lot of people get health insurance to have that free physical and to have some of your labs done. HIMS just launched an offering, $199 a year, $199 a year for your labs. That's very, very cheap. That's actually just about the cost of a doctor visit without insurance. And the labs, typically the labs feel like $1,000 roughly if you want to do like complete panels and the doctor asks for all sorts of stuff. It's like $1,000. HIMS charges $199. I think a lot of customers who lose their insurance, and not just from OSCR, but from all sorts of providers, because these 30% increases in premiums, we are seeing it all across the US. I think those people who lose their insurance, they will love the offering of HIMS and HERS, $199 for your labs. $199 for your labs, and an AI who tells you how to improve your labs. HIMS is the future of healthcare. I'm supremely confident in this stock. I sleep very well at night. Yeah, it's annoying to see it at 34, but it's the market. The market will become a weighing machine at some point again. Moving on to I guess one crypto, and I guess I'm going to talk about crypto in general, and then I'm going to talk about Coinbase. So, of course, Bitcoin is sitting at 84,400 as I record this. This is from Marty Party, and if I read this chart pretty well, Marty Party seems to think that Solana is not going to go down much further than 118. But Bitcoin may go to 82,000 because you see all of these lines, they are candidates for liquidation. So, technically we should be done. Technically, like if you look at that line, technically we had a 50% pullback. Technically we should be done. But the way this is looking, I'm pretty sure the market makers are going to try to take us down to 82,000. So Bitcoin's down, Solana's down. And this is such a disconnection with the fundamentals. I mean, it's not even funny. The environment for cryptocurrency has never been so bullish. I was listening to Saylor's interview. The regulators, the CFTC, the SEC, the bank regulators, they're all in. Like, we've never had such a... And we have, of course, monetary printing, 40 billion worth of bonds being purchased by the Fed every month. And then we have Mr. Dove coming up in May. The fundamentals for crypto have never been so good. The innovation itself has never been so good. Solana does something like 3,000 transactions a day, and it's only a matter of time until it catches up to Visa and MasterCard. To me, it makes absolutely no sense. The future is going to be blockchain, and Coinbase just blurred the lines. I don't know if you had a chance to look at the Coinbase event, but I thought it was a monumental event, the Coinbase event. Coinbase is doing something that I think all traditional stockbrokers should be worried about. Coinbase is getting into stocks. Coinbase is now allowing you to buy stocks. And so, I mean, frankly, think about Schwab or Fidelity against Robinhood. In my view, they're getting left behind already. But now Robinhood has some very serious competition, as Coinbase is making the bet that all of finance will be on-chain. And they want to be the leading centralized exchange, but they also have decentralized exchange that they just launched for Solana. And they also have Base. They want to be a leading player, a leading exchange, a leading US-based compliant exchange for all things crypto and now all things stocks. And as stocks move to the blockchain, you're going to have crazy innovations. You're going to have better products than obviously what Schwab or whatever can offer. But you're even seeing some head-to-head competition with Robinhood, where you might have much better product than what Robinhood can offer. And you know I praise Robinhood a lot on this channel. But look at this, launching pretty soon. I'm very curious. I think this is going to create a lot of volatility on some of our stocks. I mean, not that, and Nvidia has all of the volatility it needs, and so does Meta, etc. But eventually, imagine that. They're launching perps. They're launching 10x perps on stocks on Coinbase, and that's coming up soon. And of course, Coinbase is the big company in the sector, right? They're the behemoth. So think about all of the innovations that you're going to have by owning your stocks on an exchange like Coinbase, where you can just buy with stable coins, where you can just, are you going to be able to stake your stock? Are you going to be able to create to be a liquidity provider, USDC Tesla stock, and you take that pair, you create a liquidity provider token, and you start yield farming it? We're going to have crazy levels of innovation coming up. And not only is Coinbase launching a competitor to Robinhood's prediction market, but they're also launching their own competitor to Polymarket and to Kalshi. So Coinbase had the most bullish day yesterday. I was very impressed by that presentation. And of course, 3 days ago, Robinhood had a bullish presentation of its own. And guess what? Mr. Market does not look past a few days. Mr. Market sold off Coinbase 2%. Mr. Market just totally doesn't care about fundamentals. And this has been the market for the past few months. You can throw all of the good news you want at the market. We had a very benign speech yesterday. We had a great CPI. There's no war with Venezuela. Everything's doing well. We have money printing. And everything's dumping. We're just dumping. The market is just dumping. So anyways, don't get shaken out. It's been a very tough market, and it's especially tough for a fundamental analysis channel where I try to make sense of events, and the stocks just don't follow the events. The stocks just don't follow the facts, don't follow the actual strategy of these companies. So anyways, this was not investment advice. This is not financial advice. This is only entertainment. I'm hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.